Hello, everyone. Into chakra number 4, Anahata, the heart chakra. So welcome, everyone, to video 4. We're moving into Anahata, the 4th chakra. We're moving away from the tangible. As we move up to the 4th chakra, we move out of the physicality and into the less tangible. So we move into this. David, how would you start to describe Anahata?
Okay, let's go with this moving away from the tangible. We can see earth, we can see water, we can see fire, we cannot see air, but it's here. So we're into something that is, again, more subtle, as you say, less tangible, and it's kind of entering a different realm of our human development, where the first 3 we talked about your body, the fluids in your body, digestive system, and the workings of what keeps us alive in the material world, keeps the body going, and how we function in the world. Now we're entering a realm that's more subtle. And as humans, we have these higher chakras where we're being drawn into something a little bit beyond the ordinary material world that we see every day, all day. It brings us into contact with something that is beyond. And the air element, calling it an element in the alchemical terms, it's a force scientifically. We have gravitation, covalence, combustion. Now we're into expansion. Scientifically, the term we use is repulsion. And you can contemplate that. It's sort of the opposite of gravity. Gravity is pulling everything in. Repulsion is pushing everything away. And the characteristic of air molecules is they tend to want to space themselves out. When you blow air into a balloon, the reason it gets bigger is because the air molecules don't want to be compressed, and they're trying to push themselves out further. I mean, we've invented all kinds of machines that compress the air to go in our tires and everything else, but the element itself is this repulsive force which creates the expansion. And it's connected to our lungs. When we're inhaling, we're expanding. Exhaling, we let go. The actual feeling of the energy is what we can observe when we feel ourselves inhaling. It's right there.
Right. I mean, the expansion, gravity without this force would just collapse everything, right? Everything would just collapse if there wasn't a force that was pushing against it to give things shape, right?
It's the counterbalance that keeps the molecules from compressing into a whole world into a little ball, a little golf ball or something. So this is an important part of the universal forces. And at the universal level, it's creating what we perceive as this expansion of the universe. Everything is moving away. Everything is moving further and further away from everything else. So this is the force that's creating that. And it's quite a strong force at this universal level. In us, it's connected to our Anahata, and it's creating the breath, it's creating the heartbeat, it's creating physiological functions. It's very connected to our autoimmune system. Now, contemplating this at an interior level, a force that is expanding and pushing outwards. This is what triggers the autoimmune response. It runs on this energy, and what it does, it's got this whole series of little cellular components, white blood cells, etc., many of them, many types of them, and their job is to detect things that do not biologically belong to us. And then they tap into this force of eliminating, pushing outward. getting them away from the cells, getting them eliminated from the body in whichever way works. That can be by recycling, sending the whatever bacteria, whatever it is, over to the colon to be eliminated, into from the fluid to the bloodstream to the kidneys to be eliminated to the bladder. At worst case scenario, it comes right out through your skin. And the skin is another physiological component that is connected to Anahata. And when you have pimples and boils and things actually coming right out your skin, it's that same force of repulsion, pushing things out and away.
Right. And the skin is in fact the container, and then if things need to cut out, they'll just find a way out, right?
Yeah. It's just working on that energy, which will find a way of moving everything out from the center.
Right.
Also, the immune system is one of the main functions is really sweeping, cleaning out the body. It's cleaning out debris. It's cleaning out residual leftovers from cellular metabolism, etc. And the cells are working all the time. They're creating carbon dioxide. They're creating different things. And of course, carbon dioxide, the main exhaust fume from all of the cells, goes back into lymphatic, into the bloodstream, to the lungs, and we exhale and get rid of it. This is an ongoing function from your first breath to your last. Ongoing. And
normal.
Yeah. And one of the things here is the autonomic function of all of this happening. It's happening at a subconscious level. We're not generally aware of this or conscious of it. It's part of a subconscious programs. Now, this fourth chakra is then getting mentally going into the subconscious realm of our being. When we were down in the third chakra, we were with the outside world. The eyes are connected to the third chakra. We see the world out there. We're interacting in the world. The fourth chakra goes into the darkness. Once your eyes are closed, we go into the nighttime, the darkness. And this is when your autoimmune system is sweeping around through your body, picking up all the stuff that is leftovers or like the garbage man going around and bringing it to be disposed of in ways that are appropriate. We don't have a garbage dump. Everything is simply eliminated. And just like the carbon dioxide goes out, and to us, it's an exhaust fume. To the trees, it's carbon and oxygen. And they take the carbon out and they build new leaves and do things, and they throw out the oxygen, which comes back to us. So this is our symbiotic relationship at level 4 with nature itself. We're unaware of this. We don't see it happening, but scientifically we have discovered and realized all of this. So we need the trees. We need these green things in nature.
We're working together.
We're working in cooperation. We're not in competition. So let's stop cutting the trees down.
And demonizing carbon dioxide, which is should be a favorite right now. So in physiologically, a huge role being played there. People mostly understand or view the heart chakra. How would you describe it in the more ethereal sense then, in terms of how we utilize it to be with each other, to understand our connection to oneness, to the whole, that sort of thing? Because a lot of people are really tuned into the heart chakra, right? Open your heart chakra. Open. You do that all the time, right? And I think one of the things that we do a lot is take common statements like that, like follow your heart, and which are sort of like very nice lines, but what do they really mean, right? So opening your heart chakra. How does one open one's heart chakra?
Considering the nature of the force, we don't think of repulsion as something in the heart chakra, but expansion. Expand. Open your heart, expand your heart. So it's because of that scientific force of repulsion that we tend to go outside of ourselves. In the first three chakras, we're concerned with ourselves, our body, feeding ourselves, including our social contact, which are connected to us, and we're getting from people, exchanging. But here, there's a tendency to want to reach out. It's a feeling of, at its source, it's a feeling of loving communication, loving feeling of happiness, joy, and bliss, and wanting to expand that, spread it out, and share it with other people. So that this is part of what the force does in us. It's the same force that's making your heart beat. And when you really go in through meditational technique and you're in that heart chakra, you can feel the energy, the vibration of the energy that creates this expansion contraction. When you're feeling it, you're feeling vibration. In the concentration techniques in yoga, you're going to feel these energies. The first one is this contraction, gravity. The second one is feels more sensual and bubbly and sexual. The third one is more empowerment of doing and inspiring to do the action principle. And here the energy feels like reaching out, expanding. And if you pull in from the expansion, the source of the energy that's creating that feels like bliss. It feels like happiness. It feels like loving, blissful happiness at its source. And this is the center of Anahata. Now, on top of that, we have a tendency because of our life's experiences, we have emotional experiences, we have trauma, and these are all laying over top of this. So when you speak about opening the heart chakra, that's a common big thing on the island here. It's getting rid of these emotional experiences that color our perception of feeling. And our feelings have all these ups and downs of emotional stuff. The real essential feeling of Anahata is just joyfulness. Like children have this bubbly joyfulness that they just run and play and enjoy what they're doing.
Right.
Enjoyment is the essence of Anahata.
Right. There's often a confusion between the love, the pouring out of love of the Anahata and the connection, the social connections and people that we connect with and flow with in the second chakra. So there's I've also always encountered that confusion, right? Of Anahata is more open connection, love connection to just being and to oneness, whereas the love connection of the second chakra is more sensual, sexual, and social, right?
Right. Yeah.
So this is expanding into a greater definition of love.
Yeah. And what would we call unconditional love?
Unconditional.
You don't expect anything in return. You're just flowing out with it. And just like you, as a parent, you have a child and there's no expectations of what that child's going to do in the beginning, but you just appreciate and love the child. And as they're growing up a little bit, you're watching them and say, oh, how cute they are. This appreciation, this lovingness, this is the more Anahata feeling. It's an outflowing of appreciation, which becomes loving, blissful appreciation. And ideally, it's extending out to everything and everyone. You appreciate being alive, being in nature, seeing the beauty of nature with this loving appreciation. Gratitude. Again, gratitude being one of the key words that will open up this heart chakra and go beyond personal trauma, bad experiences, etc.
Yeah, I think more and more, a lot of concepts come in waves, and the concept of gratitude is very strong right now, and people are really understanding how much power that really has.
Yeah,
and that is connected to Anahata.
It's one of the openers.
So
let's go into some other little aspects here. The 12 petals of Anahata. The symbol at the center is a 6-pointed star. made of two triangles that come together. When these two triangles are, in a sense, the in breath and out breath, and when they come together, you have this suspension and everything stops. And then you go into another worldly experience. This is a higher level of meditation. Now, on the outside of that, you got 12 petals. Now, these 12 petals are connected to the universe. This is where the universal energy are coming in, totally invisible, subconscious to us, and formatting our DNA. They are the patterns and the flow of energy from the universe that come in to create our material reality at the human level. Right. Now, there are 12 petals connected to the 12 signs of the zodiac. So all these ancient cultures understood that we are stardust, okay? Electromagnetic waves condensing into the molecular structures of this world. Now, when the energy is coming from one section of the universe, it's going to create a specific DNA and manifest a certain type of personality, which can be Aries or Libra or Sagittarius, or these are different expressions of a universal reality that go into the types of persona that we come here to manifest. So you're looking at the source creation that's making our DNA, and then as our DNA unfolds into our human being, we take on certain characteristics, certain personalities, and we are influenced by certain areas, the energy from certain areas of the universe more than others. So we're plugged in, we're in tune with this or that. And this is the basis of astrology.
Yeah.
And then it goes into the 12 tribes of Israel. It goes into the 12 apostles. It goes into our clock with the 12 hours, which is repeated 2 times in a day. But this is one of the functions of, one of the subtle aspects of Anahata, is this subconscious inner flow of the energy from the universe, which is then unfolding into our reality. And the very time element itself, connected to our clock and our 12 months of the year, which I forgot to mention, this division of time into 12 is one of the functions of Anahata. And the meditation that takes you into that center of Anahata also can take you beyond time. Because when you go through that little gateway, Anahata, to the other side of the universe, through the opening of the chakra, you end up in this place where there is no time. You only enter the time dimension when you step back here, when you begin breathing again. And again, it's in the yogic techniques of training yourself with all these breathing pranayama techniques, that then you can eventually come to a place of suspending the breath. And you stop between the breaths. And in that time, your consciousness can have an experience that is beyond this world, beyond space-time. And it's a completely different experience of the universe. Absolutely. Very non-tangible, as started out.
Yeah. One of my favorite moments, and it's something that I discovered, of course, many decades ago, but it's that space between the inhale and the exhale, and the space between the exhale and the inhale. There's a moment there that is so beautiful. I wrote about that in my book, pointing out that particular to go looking for that particular feeling, because it is one of those little confirmations, of how much greater everything is than what we're thinking here in this physical realm.
And that feeling is findable. In fact, you create it by watching the breath and stopping at these two ends of the breath and entering that. So the training and the practice comes in there again, where you can create the space for yourself and then dive into it. And with the practice, you can dive in longer and have these amazing experiences.
And the other in terms of the yoga and practices that are connected to Anahata, Anahata is karma yoga. Is that the
That's right,
yoga?
the
So,
practice, which
and
brings
so,
us out to this feeling of expansion and going out to help others. And there's a empathetic feeling. Empathy comes in
mhm,
this chakra where you can feel someone else's suffering or someone else's feeling ill or not well, and you want to reach out and help them. It's kind of a
right.
natural reaction. And this puts you into service, doing things to help other people. And this is
Hmm.
karma yoga. And you're doing things
Right.
that are helping people in a positive way, helping them to awaken, helping them to go beyond their suffering, to find a happier lifestyle, to go back into find this happiness that's the core of Anahata Chakra.
Hmm. Nice. So a great place to focus and spend time to elevate oneself out of operating in those lower chakras, right? It's
Yeah,
and it's the halfway point up the chakra column. Well, not all the chakras that exist, but the chakras of physicality.
yeah,
Anahata is that middle point, right? A balance point, you could call it.
yeah. And it's the wall between lower and upper, and you're standing on the fence kind of, am I going to go to be helping other people to be evolving, or am I going to go into the material world and become materialistic and get everything for myself and conquer for myself? So there's a bit of a shift in consciousness that happens here from uh let's say being in the material world to going beyond to being considerate and compassionate and
Hmm. More
feeling.
altruistic. Hmm.
Yeah, and then we're connecting with other people, and we start to realize we're in a bigger family than our bloodline, and the human family is what we are part of, and the human family is part of nature, and nature is part of everything, and you're expanding your consciousness to perceive we are greater than our little physical being through people. And again, the connection with nature is another beautiful thing here. I mentioned the symbiosis of us and the trees and the oxygen, carbon dioxide. We're so interconnected, and we need to
Hmm.
respect that with a sense of this gratitude again.
Hmm. Right. Yeah. Very good. Lots of great points, lots of great ideas. Anything else that you feel we should contribute to this great chakra? They're all great, but people do have a special relationship to the heart chakra.
Yeah. What other points? The here and nowness of it is another feature that can bring us into this heart chakra. Just simply being in the moment and really focusing on exactly what's happening here now. We have always have the breath that brings us in. Again, lungs are connected, even though pranayama yoga is connected to the third chakra. The sensation, the feeling of taking a breath brings us right back in to anahata. It's here and now, it's an experience.
Mm-hmm.
As we get into the next chakra, vishuddha, you're up in more in the mind, the brain, ideas, and thinking. Here, you stop thinking and you feel life. You feel
Right.
your present experience. And we all know this term of, be here now. In
Yes.
this very
Yeah.
moment is the experience of life. Your mind is
Mm-hmm.
thinking about what you're going to experience tomorrow, but now there is an
Mm-hmm.
experience. And once you've taken away those layers of bad experiences and trauma of the past, and you're actually living in the moment, it feels totally fun,
Mm-hmm.
like a child having
Right.
fun. We're back to that place of I'm here to enjoy life. What are you here for?
Yeah.
I need to find a
So
good
what
job. Well, the
those things?
adult's life has taken us out of this here and
Mm-hmm.
now concept, but the
Right.
enjoyment is part of
Mm.
anahata. And we need
Right.
to study our children, look at our children at play and realize They're not all blocked up. They're just spontaneously having fun. And we've lost that.
Right. Yeah. So when people actually ask that question, how do I open up my heart chakra? We could basically start by saying, just take some deep breaths and be here now.
Yeah.
That's
And
your
most people
first
can't even do
step.
that.
Most
But
people can't do that.
but if you start them with, let's take a few deep breaths, and they start and they feel the breath, that's the first step getting back into this place of I'm
Mm-hmm.
alive and I'm happy to be alive. I have some gratitude for life.
Mm-hmm.
I can have fun again. That's really
Mm-hmm.
essential for Anahata. And again,
Mm-hmm.
even the whole healing force of the autoimmune system, the thymus gland connected here, which triggers all of the white blood cells to do their jobs. It runs on happiness. When you're in
Mm-hmm.
a joyful place, it's completely functional. When you're falling into sadness and depression, it becomes dysfunctional. It doesn't know what
Right.
to do anymore.
Right.
So all of this is
Mm-hmm.
important things of making the connection from our state of joy to our state of health and
Mm-hmm.
maintaining that by being here now,
Yeah.
enjoying with
Such an
gratitude what you have here now.
Yeah, that's such an important point to understand. The fact that the thymus and the white blood cells in our defense system, when it's not working well, then the body can't defend us from conditions, from disease, from sickness, from all these things. And people are always going, "Oh, it's in the water. It's a bacteria. It's a this. It's a
Yeah,
that." And what it is in fact not being centered and not being here now, so that your system can operate effectively and keep you healthy as a
yeah,
side effect.
yeah. It's a side effect. When you're living a happy life and you're happy to be living your life, your immune system will defend you and protect you and keep you having that happy life. If you're not having a happy
Right.
life and you're discouraged and sad and depressed, then it doesn't bother healing you because what are you living for? The whole
Mm-hmm.
sense of going back to gratitude,
Mm-hmm.
gratitude
Yeah.
for life itself, and then your immune system says, "Oh yeah, we're happy to be here. Let's maintain ourselves. Let's clean out the body. Let's protect it."
Yeah. Fantastic. Beautiful. I think that we've put a wonderful spin on the heart chakra.
Yeah.
Uh, is think there's anything else you'd like to add, or will we be moving on to number 5?
Yeah, we'll be moving on to number 5 next, and one step up from here, from feeling this place to discovering a little bit more about the vibration, the energy, other aspects of how that is affecting us and influencing us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, we're moving into the higher realms where not everything is visible and obvious, but we have access to understanding these things as humans and taking advantage of what this energy can do for us, with us, and how we can redirect it in very positive ways if it isn't
Yeah.
already. And for most
Yeah.
people, there's some redirection that needs to happen. And as we get
Mm-hmm.
into the fifth chakra, we're more into this directing power. Here, we're just
Right.
feeling what is.
Mm-hmm.
And as we get into the fifth chakra, it's looking at what can become, stepping into a realm of possibilities and
Mm-hmm.
further into the realm of, again, the quantum physics, which is at the
Mm-hmm.
source of, at the root of all these energies, these chakra energies.
Yeah. One of the beautiful observations through years that I've had is we're getting into ethereal talk. We're getting into these concepts that are less tangible as the first chakras. But when we hit on these truths and we talk about them, it's amazing how people know what you're saying. Oh, I know what you mean. I know what you're saying. I know what you, I couldn't express it, but I know what you mean.
Yeah.
So it's inherent, right? It's in us.
Mhm.
It's just a question of describing it and explaining it and working with it. And then, of course, the ultimate that we're all aimed at is experiencing it,
Yeah.
really connecting that way.
Mhm.
All right. So let's leave Anahata where it is.
Okay.
Uh,
Namaste. Till the next one.
you in the next one.
All right.